Disco.
Why does it still say disco? We don't know because we're going to
tune.
discuss football. I don't know. So the rundown for week 5 is ready to kick off. It's been again another interesting week, another week of things not going quite as expected, especially not so much for SJ, but probably some more for Jamie as he finishes his
fun day out.
I mean,
Another
didn't get fun day out, but there's obviously some things that I think are discussable, like the rise of KCL. What's KCL doing? What's Coventry doing? What's Derby doing? It's basically that's what the show is. Let's talk about these teams and what they're doing. So, Tebs here, joined with Jamie, all the way from Qatar, and SJ. Where are you?
I'm in London.
So near Qatar, yeah. That's what
I'm not gonna tell people the location because I'll be worried.
Why?
Don't know. Just get nervous.
Yep, fair enough.
What's for dinner, Jamie?
What is for dinner?
I had a lovely chicken and pepper baguette from the leftovers from what we had last night.
Yeah, Jamie had shark last night. Can you believe that?
It was fucking shit.
Just like the Coventry Jets. Unbelievable stuff. Share it in a delicious dinner. So we're going to get into the scores that happened this week. We're going to obviously, you should know the format of the show by now. If you don't, well, we're going to review, probably do some Bafra news flash because we've got some of those.
Yes.
Preview, and then go into our picks. So this week, in week 4, the UE Bullets beat the Durham Saints 54-14. The NTU Renegades, I think it's a pretty big shock. They pull off the lead again, pull off the lead. The win, what am I doing? Against the Leeds Griffins 26-20. Portsmouth beat Cardiff 33-15. The Exeter Demons beat Birmingham 8-0. That's not even the worst score that we've got this week. Jamie, actually, that's what I'm talking about. Glasgow beat Heriot Watt 19-14. Northumbria beat Man Met 38-6. UClan shut out the LJMU Fury 35-0. Coventry beat Hull 16-14. We'll definitely get into that one. Then Brunel, impressively, and this not just because SJ's here, very impressively because I was there, beat Oxford 55-6. The Bath.
That's because you were there.
Well, just because I was there. So we have a soccer score here. Bath Killer Bees beat Swansea 2-0. Bournemouth beats Bristol 52-0. The UEA Pirates get a walkover over the UCL Emperors, and the KCL Regents.
No, it hasn't gone down as a walkover.
Nothing's
been done yet. No, it's not been done yet. Nothing's been done.
Okay, well, hands off and change that one. That's what I was told yesterday. That's completely fine. I put just, I'd rather have right information and be told that. So the KCL Regents beats the Kent Falcons 21-8. In D2, the Lancaster Bombers come back against the Staffordshire Stallions after losing to Edge Hill 31-6. The Colonials fall to the Braves 40-20. The Holloway Bears once again can't get a point, losing to Surrey 22-0. The Gloucestershire Gladiators, tear in my eye, they lose to the Worcester Royals 12-8. And the Kingston Cougars take first place in the Southeast too, and I think they've pretty much done quite well here, and I think they're positioned to be promoted now, beating Imperial 27-6. Hello, everyone who is here. 2-0. 2-0 is crazy work. It's absolutely mad. So I'd say let's start with the Northern Prem. Do we want to talk about the National Prem? Obviously, the Bullets putting on a big score, bigger than gold, in the National Prem. But for me, it's indicative of, the Bullets are still a good team. They are still, and I've got some thinking to do when it comes to the National Prem rankings. Anyone else surprised by that score? that they've managed to do them, especially with the scoreline versus the Gold. I think it was 30-20 to the Gold.
I think after watching seeing the Loughborough score, I'm not that surprised. It doesn't feel like Durham are as good as they were last year at the moment.
Obviously, they've brought in some good people, but I do think that, Jamie might have a little bit of hindsight, but a little bit of wisdom here that Durham will get better as the season progresses, much as they did last year. I think that's definitely looking like the case.
I still back them to go all the way. I'm not dying on that train yet. I still think they exactly as you just said, improve as the season goes on.
Okay, everyone from Kingston, grow up, mate. I've just said that you're in line to be promoted. Done quite well. I've just said you're in position to be promoted. What more do you want? I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want.
It's been said.
We got 70 points scored and only 6 against, 3-0. 70 points over 3 games isn't impressive.
Don't get me wrong. They shut out.
Brunel nearly got that in a game.
They shut out 2 opponents, which is good. But I don't understand where this is coming from in the sense of I'm saying Kingston are the team that is most likely to be promoted now. They've beaten Imperial.
I don't think anyone would dispute that.
Yeah, I don't understand where you think that I'm giving Kingston any grief, because I mean the statement prior to that completely unbelievable stuff. So moving on to the Northern Prem, NTU beating Leeds. It seems as though that Leeds can't win in Nottingham is the trend that is going around, especially after last year in the playoffs at NTU beating Leeds. I'm certainly surprised by it. Only 6 points, but
so what does that say about Leeds or NTU? I don't know at this point. That division's a mess as well. Prem South is as well.
Yeah, Prem South is. It really is looking like Portsmouth are the second place team, but SGS are far and away. 15 points separate them in the first game between them. It'd be interesting to see if that will shorten at any point, but I think after that win against Exeter, I think SGS have very much found their feet and they'll continue to win. But again, we say that Leeds have just lost. Apparently, that I was told that the field in NTU was a bit, Reading-esque, but
I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some excuses that have come out from Leeds, typical Leeds.
But it's like that thing. If you, Jamie, have you ever seen Arsenal fan TV? You're no time. You mustn't forget it's been raining. That's exactly what that screams off.
But just like Arsenal fans, there's always an excuse for Leeds whenever something doesn't go right. Like it's never that they weren't good enough.
It's always the ref's fault, mate.
Yeah, ref's fault. There was rain and the pitch was bad, but it's not like the pitch was bad for both teams. Yeah.
Well, this is exactly it, right? I do still think that when it comes to the rematch, that Leeds will take it. But, as it stands right now, because of NTU's loss to Warwick, it's very, very interesting about how the North is taken up now.
With players missing? Not to take anything away from...
From what I've heard, but then I wasn't there. I haven't heard the full story, but I'm just saying what I have been told in regards to that game. But yeah, I mean, in the Southern Prem, pretty much more of the same. I didn't expect Cardiff to beat Portsmouth, but stacking on 33-15. It's impressive for Portsmouth. It's as simple as that. I mean, I don't know. I can't really correlate what is told from Exeter only beating Birmingham by 8.
From my knowledge of that game is that Exeter don't have any quarterbacks. The quarterback got concussed against SGS as far as it was. They played on Sunday without a quarterback. Was it Saturday? Saturday. Yeah, they played without a quarterback. So 8-0 win, no QB. A win's a win.
It's one of those things where I'm happy that I said that Exeter they had sparks of good plays versus SGS, but 8-0 it really does throw that division into even more chaos than it was. And that Exeter versus Cardiff game, which I don't think is this week, I think it's the week after, I think that is going to, very much tell the tale of who could go down, because I can't really say that there is a favourite to go down.
I'm just enjoying Oscar_the_Spuds comments. Beating the Sharks may not be an accomplishment, but beating your mother was.
That's an odd one. You think you can?
Yeah, I mean, you are incriminating yourself there, my guy. But yeah,
that's an interesting one to say. Not sure on that one.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, there's some spam comments. Disgusting. So I guess moving on to D1. Harriet Watt losing. I
Hate to
think
see it.
but it's still a pretty decent score against the team that won the division the year prior. I do think that Harriet Watt is still in the mix. Obviously, so are Glasgow now. Again, like the Scottish one is very much. I think it's very, very exciting just because everyone, apart from Aberdeen, is looking like they could end up taking it. But I think it's going to prove better for them in the playoffs as opposed to last year, where they've actually now got tough teams, or at least it's competitive. So when they end up in the playoffs, we won't see teams just immediately exit. So, but I think it's going to be interesting to see what Napier could do. Jamie's having a mare in the comments.
Jamie's getting rattled by the comments.
Ezra's just commented, and he plays for the Sharks, and Ezra is very good, very, very good player. Apparently, I've never seen him, but apparently he's a very good player. And can you blame me, Ezra? Is all I'm going to say.
He said he doesn't have any faith in the Sharks anymore. Yeah.
Can you blame me? It was a dark day yesterday. It was a really, really dark day.
To be fair, Ab, it's not changing on here. It's changing in real life. It's not us. It's the teams that win and lose. Because last week you could easily say potentially between Exeter and Cardiff, and now Exeter have beaten Brum. It's now looking like it's not going to be Exeter. So, but
who is it then?
I guess it. I mean, let's
I don't know. Here we go. The comments just come through. When do we get our promised game balls? When you reply to my Instagram message would be the easy reply.
So as of right now, oh god, no. There's 3 teams with 2 points, right? Exeter have won 1, Birmingham have won 1, and Cardiff have won 1. So, but Exeter have got a worse point differential than Cardiff.
But Cardiff have played more games.
Well, they have lost 3, yeah. So technically right now it's Cardiff, but they have played the most games. So
Cardiff played SGS yet?
I think they have. Yes, they have. The score was only by 9, I believe.
Oh yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. So, as of right now it's Cardiff, but then again that's why I think Exeter versus Cardiff. I think that's going to end up being the relegation battle for it. So, again, as we sort of move down the country, UClan and Northumbria both do UClan and Northumbria things. They both put on big displays. Man Met getting 6 against Northumbria, I don't think should be much of a concern.
I'm confused about that division. Like, are those 2 teams? I've not seen either of them play, so I don't know. But are they just really, really good, and everyone else is just bad, or is everyone else just very, very bad and they're good?
I think we're going to be able to get a better sense of it this weekend, as UClan are travelling to Northumbria this week.
This week, lovely.
So that's the first one, because as much as I really want to stream that game, I'm not travelling to Northumbria. I will travel to Preston. I'm not travelling to Northumbria because that's like a 6-hour drive. I'm not.
No one's ever willingly said they'll travel to Preston.
I know, it's pretty mad, isn't it? Yeah. I'll put it to this: I'll travel there. I don't know if I'll come back, but I'll certainly travel there. But so I think that will give us a much better indication of where those 2 teams lie. Like if one of those teams blows the other one out, then we could turn around and say the northern one, the other 3 teams are not that great. But as it stands right now, LJMU are in that relegation zone, and by quite a fair bit. But obviously, they just need to beat Man Met by a better score of points next time around. But I'm surprised that LJMU are in that position. For me, it's a shame because they had that season a couple of seasons ago where they were, right on the edge of doing something pretty decent, and it just hasn't transpired that they've been able to capitalise on it. And Liverpool are up. Liverpool are obviously up. Liverpool probably come down, so we won't be able to get a Liverpool derby, anymore, because Liverpool go straight back into the Northern One.
I've realised having a comment section with Instagram Live is hilarious because it's just chaos.
It is chaos. It is great.
There are defensive tackles in South West and Div 1 who have scored more points individually than Bath has as a team. That's that's mean.
And it's weird. There's an account, and I can't see the name of the account, and it's asking me to bring back the blonde dreads. No. I'm creeping closer to. I'm creeping closer to 30. Maybe if I return to Uniball, then yeah. But so moving on to the Midlands, we got to talk about it. Coventry do take a win off the Hull Sharks, 16-14.
Yay!
Anyone?
Yeah. I think it sums up Coventry as a team that they got 80 yards offensively, and there was 8 turnovers that the Sharks had on defense. So I think that really does summarise how bad Coventry are. And as I will continue to say, beating the Sharks, as I say continue, but it's the first time I've said it. Beating the Sharks is as much as it pains me to say at this current moment in time is not necessarily an accomplishment. However, I will give credit to Coventry because despite only getting 80 yards and 8 turnovers, they didn't give up, and they had some special teams plays, and yeah. So, there's not a lot I can say. There isn't a lot I can say. At least I will hold my end of the bargain and get these game balls. Tebs won't get in a hot tub.
I never agreed to it. Never ever agreed to it. But the thing is, though, like we could talk about this, but it's not completely dead set relegation for Hull. It's only 2 points in it as it stands. So like that second meeting of the Sharks and the Jets will probably be deciding who goes down. And 2 points isn't a massive hurdle for Hull to overcome next time that these two teams face off.
I genuinely, hand on heart, believe that Hull will come back with a vengeance and annihilate Coventry in the return leg. And you can clip that. And I do genuinely. To get 8 turnovers is absurd.
Yeah, but then how bad are Hull if you get 8 turnovers, you don't win?
I agree. I agree. But the Coventry are going to walk away and go, oh, look how good we are. We've won our first game in 16 years. And it's like, come on, lads. Come on. Simmer yourselves.
Win is a win.
Win is
a win. How you get it.
Win is a win.
A win is a win.
I mean, speaking of that, we could go straight down to the Southwest one. We'll bounce around. Bath beating Swansea by 2.
I'm getting sick and tired of that division, if I'm honest.
So am I. I'm sick and tired of people telling me, "Oh no, the Southwest one, there are contenders. It's just not Bournemouth." No, there aren't. No, there aren't.
If I'm Bournemouth, and this is very early, and they won't be doing this, but if I'm Bournemouth, I'm just looking at the South East and the South at this point and getting film already, because what am I playing for in my division? They're going to win every game very clearly, and I don't think they'll concede a point.
What do you think of the NTU Renegades beating Leeds? We've already spoken about it.
Too late.
But this is it.
You missed it.
Like Bristol getting completely battered by Bournemouth 52-0. It's who else is it? Because as it stands right now, it's not going to be Swansea, and they're the last team that Bournemouth have to face. It's not going to be them. So it's just Bournemouth, and I'm sick and tired of hearing that the Southwest one's actually, got other teams in it.
I think it's probably frustrating for Bournemouth because they're not going to be tested until they get to the playoffs.
and I think that's going to be detrimental for the Bobcats, that they're going to have to wait and to have a challenge until the playoffs. Obviously, one of these teams could come back after Christmas and potentially do something. But as it stands right now, Bournemouth are far and away the favourite to win their division.
Have we ever just completely disrespected the whole division on the scale that we're doing at the moment with the Southwest one?
The problem is,
we have.
The problem is the problem is with it is if you look at the other scores that don't have Bournemouth in it, they're all it's 6-0, 7-0, 2-0, and then Southampton, beating Bristol, but then falling 44-0 to Bournemouth. That says to me that it's Bournemouth and then everyone else. And it's the other teams in the division. Like I remember being asked last week, what are the chances Bristol, is it just Bournemouth or could Bristol do it? No, it's Bournemouth, and I mean that's it. It's as simple as that, and it's I can't see any other factor for the Southwest one here.
One of these teams is going to the playoffs.
I know, I know. It's mental that a second, the second team is going to be coming out of that. Realistically, I think that's the more interesting conversation to have in the Southwest one. It's not who's going to win it, because that's going to be Bournemouth.
But there's a hilarious situation where whoever finishes second in the Southwest isn't the number 6 seed. They could be 5.
Yeah,
they could. They could even be 4. The way the Southeast is going at the moment and the way the South is going, I think they could be 4, which is mental.
Yeah,
and there's no way you're telling me that one of those teams gets a home game.
No, it's mental. I don't quite understand. I just don't understand it. People on Instagram, I'm sorry, but your team got Bristol. Your team got battered. Your team got battered. What do you want? What do you want me to do? Your team got rolled up and battered. What do you want?
Who are these people in the comments?
I don't know, but it's good to have them.
Is the one that's going on at you at the moment not the one with Bristol's Barracuda fan account?
I think it is, yeah.
Bristol Barracuda fan
account. Like legitimately, it is okay, I can get grief of Bristol. You got battered. You got what do you want me to say? And you lost to Southampton.
Just say scoreboard.
You're not doing anything. Don't get me wrong. Given how Swansea's performing, you're probably going to be staying up, which is good because we like doing the Southampton versus Bristol games. But you're not winning the div. You're not winning the div. Go on back and forth what you said about Leeds, but in the loss to Warwick, NTU had players missing, especially the O-line. What?
Okay.
In the loss to Warwick. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
I think it's going to be interesting to see, but I don't think Bath's out of the realm of relegation yet, but as it stands right now, it's looking like Swansea. But again, we'll get off the Southwest one.
When did that? Hang on, just quickly. When did that safety happen?
Yeah, someone's here. So, someone in the chat.
Because that'd be hilarious if it didn't happen until the 4th quarter. It was just 3 quarters of just nothing.
That's been even better if it was that happened first play of the game, and it was just the rest of it was just dull.
So moving on to the Southern, obviously the Burners beat the Lancers pretty convincingly, 55-6. I tell you what, I was surprised and very much impressed by Brunel. I'll try not to, suck up to fucking SJ too much here, but it was genuinely impressive, and I think Brunel have positioned themselves as definitely one of the best teams in Div 1 and potentially the best team in the South because of that statement win against the Lancers, who aren't a bad squad in the slightest. Just mental. Defense was there, special teams was there, and the offense was there. Apart from that second play of the game, completely perfect.
It was lights out. It was, yeah. I mean, I'm biased. Everyone knows about where I coach. Everyone knows what I get involved in. But that I was surprised by that score. I thought it was going to be a very tight game. I thought it would be very hotly contested. But yeah, that team was the most lights out I've ever seen them play in about 8 years. But like I said, the team at the moment is in the best shape it's ever been. I think if you, I think what was it? I think 137 scored. I think it's like 40. We're averaging like 42 points a game or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, have we seen the Reading post with all the photos of Holding versus the Burners? We have, but I don't think it would change the fact they got burgered.
I mean, there's a great one from Cam, and Cam's not here tonight because he broke his collarbone against Derby, of him completely face mask someone, and it's brutal, absolutely brutal. So moving on to the southeastern one, KCL are for real. Let's get it out of the way now. They beat Kent 21-8. Sorry, I'm impressed by that. Like obviously KCL started fairly late, but it's looking pretty decent for them. And when they take on UEA, they could potentially take this division pretty early on. I know that it's Kent versus UEA this weekend, but it's certainly an interesting one going forward. What?
You are just being crucified this week.
No, I know I am.
Completely and utterly crucified.
I know.
And it's not even off anything you've said, which makes it even worse. It's just personal attacks.
Yeah, it's great. Personal attacks and Sport Tank. How does that?
Oh wow!
How does that normally go? So moving on.
Jed _ Kuda is getting the block.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we don't know. Not normally my decision.
Do we have to apologise to KCL at this point? I think I feel like we do.
I don't know if we were too harsh on them. I never thought they were going to get relegated, but I didn't think that they'd be top of the division beating Kent. That's a good comment, but I'm not going to read it. I know exactly the one you've just looked at. Yeah, I don't think we have to apologise. Like we didn't say they are going to lose the thing. I thought they could potentially make the playoffs. They've done a lot better, but obviously they started quite late. So, yeah, simple as that.
Oh, wow. Our cover on their third string QB as their starter and backup got injured in the game and still got the job done. All I'm going to say, shut the fuck up.
I will say this is Jamie saying that, not me.
Everyone thinks it. Like, they're just so irrelevant. They've won a game. Wow. Fucking boo-hoo. You're not going to win another. Cry more.
Are you rattled?
He's coping and seething. It's pretty mad.
It's just because I will follow through with my bets, and I will buy them game balls. We are choosing the engravings, but I will buy them game balls.
I will say Coventry. He did say that when he made the post, so that is something that you have got to look out for. He did say that he got to choose the engravings, so make of that what you will.
What game are we on? KCL Kent.
Yes.
I'm surprised. I'm very sorry to KCL because I think perhaps there's a possibility they could be the best team in the southeast.
100%.
This is the funniest thing. Is a week ago it was like 4-4 is the minimum. I think they'll have a good season, and now it's KCL number 1.
Yep.
But like I said, there's still another round to go, and then the other game from the southeast one.
And this is it. Like this weekend, the KCL Regents aren't playing, so they've got time to really think over. But I imagine they're going to be paying attention to this Kent Falcons versus UEA rematch as their main sort of activity for this weekend. So moving on.
Hang on. Julia, the head coach of KCL, says, "Is it an overreaction to KCL winning Southeast one?" I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's like beating Kent. No, I don't think it's an overreaction for them to. They're definitely in the pipeline. I think when it comes to that UEA game, that's going to obviously completely blow it out of the water. But again, very, 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 very surprising. So moving on to D2, Lancaster come back against Staffordshire after I didn't pick them, and I hate my life. 31-6, which means that the Northwestern 2 is actually it's a lot more interesting than I thought it would be.
Are Edge Hill, and this is going to be one for the overreactions. Are Edge Hill potentially going to win that division?
This is the thing. We've currently got a 3-way tie in the sense of Staffordshire beats Edge Hill. Edge Hill beat Lancaster, and Lancaster beat Staffordshire. Staffordshire and Edge Hill are facing off on the 1st of December again, but Edge Hill take that. They're looking pretty good going into it. 10-0 was the score against Lancaster, so those three are in it. Keele isn't in it. Like, let's be honest, Keele aren't in it for promotion right now, but the other three, they are, and it's a lot closer than I thought.
Keele just vibing.
Keele's just coming back. Keele will come back, but I think it's very, very good from Lancaster. So, moving on to the Midlands 2, Derby take pole position in the Midlands 1 with a 40-20 victory over Lincoln. Not surprised. I mean, I love Lincoln, and
rest in peace, Cam.
Yeah, rest in peace, Cam's collarbone. But I'm not surprised. They have got a rematch later on in the season, which, if both teams continue to apart from Lincoln, defeat everyone apart from Derby this weekend, then it will come down to that game, and Lincoln will obviously have to get 21 to be promoted. But as it stands right now, it's looking like it's Derby.
Finally, they're back.
I'm not surprised. So in the Southern 2, Surrey beat Royal Holloway 22-0. I mean, when you look at OBU beating Royal Holloway 35-0 the week prior, I mean, I think that Southern 2 is a lot more spicy than we actually.
That's going to be the hard game to call, isn't it?
Yeah, but also, Sussex are there. Sussex are undefeated as well. They've actually had some decent offense. Last year it was all defense, primarily for them. So I think, much like in the Southern 1, you've got this 3 teams at the top. Seems in the Southern 2, you've also got that with Sussex, OBU, and Surrey. So I mean, it's certainly interesting. It's not more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I had Surrey. I mean, my rankings for Div 2 have completely exploded. I've actually done them this week, but it's Sussex take on Holloway this weekend. That will give us a good indication of where Sussex are. But OBU take on Chichester, and as much as I'm happy Chichester is still playing, I don't know how much that'll actually tell us. Was that you putting your hand up? What's going on?
No. Just it doesn't matter.
I'm just looking at quite chaos in the chat, to be fair.
Yeah, it's pretty peak. So moving on to the Southwestern 2, Gloucestershire fall to Worcester 12-8. It's not
Thought on that one.
It's not obviously not great for Gloucestershire. Worcester haven't been a decent team for a hot minute. Getting, I think, their first regular season win, definitely since last year, against Gloucestershire. Tight game, but I think this win is definitely going to turn the perception of Gloucestershire now as a potential contender for promotion. Very much against them falling to Worcester. Obviously, they could still do it, dependent on games with like Plymouth and Bullets 2s, but losing to Worcester not a great optic for the Gloucestershire Gladiators. It's
what's going on there. I mean, you know some of the guys there, don't you?
It's one of I don't know. It could be numbers. It could be scheme. I don't know. It seems as though everyone was very much confident going into the game with Worcester, but you look at Gloucestershire last year. They lost to Aberystwyth in their first game. Still managed to make the playoffs. Could we potentially see that? Maybe, but it's still losing to Worcester's still not a great optic. We did hear, or I did, that Worcester were a better team than they were last year, but even still, beating a team that has made the playoffs 2 years in a row prior to this season, I think is very much stressful for Gloucestershire going forward. And Aberystwyth had another game postponed because Bath Spa didn't paint the pitch wasn't painted properly or something like that. I don't know.
Beautiful, mate.
That's when your pitch is like on an angle. So moving on to the Southeastern 2, we're gonna, get past these. Kingston they've taken the promotion. They've got it by the throat at the minute, defeating Imperial 27-6. I think it's very impressive that Kingston have managed to have this turnaround. 3-0. 2 of those are shutouts. They've got Canterbury and Greenwich left. But that win over Imperial, I think that has got them straight there. They don't have any more games for this side of the season. So
It's only five. It is only 5 games, isn't it?
yes, yeah.
So in theory, I mean, it depends on. They might actually get promoted now without actually playing again. Am I right saying that in theory? No.
No. Technically, if they lose to Canterbury and they lose to Greenwich, and Imperial win out, then Imperial will go up, right? So technically,
No, because Imperial. Oh, they'd have to lose, but they'd have to lose both games.
this is it. This is what I mean, right? Is that Kingston would have to lose both games to not get promoted. Stands right now, I don't think that they will. So I'm happy to sort of crown Kingston as the first team to really have that promotion wrapped up. Because I can't say that for the Northeast, and Sheffield still haven't played York yet. I did say, wrongly last week that Gloucestershire were the last team to play.
It's
But
6 games, by the way. It's 6 games, by the way, in the Southeast too.
Southeast. Who else have they got? Am I missing someone?
They have to replace someone once, I think.
They have to
I
replace
think that's the way it works. Everyone has 6 games. My understanding is they play someone else again.
Let's have a gander.
So they've got City. They've got City again. No, that's Imperial.
They've got okay. Let's. We're gonna.
Clark's in the comments. Clark can tell me who they've got twice.
Let's see who they've got.
City, Canterbury, and Greenwich. We play them home and away. They play Greenwich home and away. That's it.
See, again, Greenwich. I mean, I don't think they're going to lose twice to Greenwich. I'll put it like that. So, I think Kingston are good. I did say wrongly that Gloucestershire were the last team to play, but it's actually instead of losing to Worcester, let's focus on Worcester clearly bettering themselves from last year. I mean, they still lost the first game. Obviously, it is going to be a case of me. I don't know. Obviously, I'm still looking at it from a Gloucestershire perspective. Obviously, it's very much impressive from Worcester, but going forward, it's going to be interesting to see how they do against other teams in that division. It's decent from Worcester, I will say. I will apologise for looking at that more on a Gloucestershire level, but yeah, it is impressive from Worcester. I did say that Gloucestershire were the last team to play, but it's not. It's actually York, because York are playing their first game in week 7 because of Bradford dropping out. So, mental. Right. We've actually got news flashes. We're going to do some news flashes.
It's so long.
There's not too many. I mean, there's obviously Bournemouth. The officials' assistants were often slow and occasionally uncooperative. That was quite funny. Not too many people getting called off. Imperial's ones are mainly about having to leave to go to the Brunel game. Lincoln's had a very strange one. 90-yard field's been freshly marked, no 3-yard marks, 9-yard marks, numbers or team areas. There are coaching areas, a couple of yard lines. The field is on a slope along its length. Jesus Christ, Lincoln. Both teams were meant to be provided a room each, but only one changing room was available, as the second team was actually a ladies' changing room at the University Sports Centre. Therefore, the crew needed to wait until both teams were changed to use the public facilities. A disabled toilet was offered by staff, but was not suitable as an alternative. I love Uniball.
Reading Knights in Newsflash 42. There was a clash of jerseys as both teams played in predominantly black jerseys, although Reading had large elements of red and white in the parts of their jerseys. However, they were still clashing to a large degree. I'm going to skip a little bit. And then it says, there is also some discrepancy regarding whether parking at the venue is now chargeable. The website for the venue and the staff say that staff on the reception both say it's free at weekends, but the signs in the car park itself says it's £3 on a Sunday.
It's a good point. It's one that we had to ask as well when we got there. It's a very it's very important.
I mean, I think the Portsmouth one is good. 90-yard field painted a mix of orange and red lines, so probably around 2 inches, and many of the main lines are very faint. The crew were informed that they would be painting in a more permanent paint the next few weeks. Teams and coaching boxes were marked with cones, changing rooms shared and not lockable. Members of the public come and go to use the toilets in the corner of the room throughout the game and half time. There was a change to the chain crew during the first half due to injury. Interesting. The Lord Mayor of Portsmouth was in attendance and was a VIP for the coin toss. I love that. That's a little one that they've put in.
There's been some tasty ejections over the last couple of weeks as well. Like they are the one about the guy getting ejected for exaggerating falling to the floor is really special.
Can we talk about the fact that it's not a newsflash unless there's an SGS player ejected?
It does tend to happen a lot.
Every week there's a new one.
It does tend to happen. It does tend to happen a lot. I don't. You understand? There's
But
not
to be
too
fair
many.
though, I'd get angry if I'm playing for SGS and aren't getting a real education.
Brilliant. I mean, there's nothing like Southampton offering sweeties for the refs, which is still the top tier. It's still the best one that's ever been done. So moving on to week 6. So
we're having a Q&A this week or not?
Yeah, but let me just get the graphic up for 5 minutes, just because all of you have been absolutely mental. Oh, SJ's gone. That's how mad. That's how much he doesn't want to do a Q&A. That we will do one and we'll answer whatever I feel like. So where's he gone? Let me get him back in. So yeah, go on then. You got 5 minutes for a Q&A.
They've got until 47 minutes of the stream.
There's no way you're actually getting genuine questions from that chat.
No, I know.
The Q&A is being celebrated in the Instagram chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot.
Are all of these people in the comments from the Southwest One?
I mean, if they are, then that would make sense.
It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Why they're all pretty bang average.
I find it quite entertaining, and obviously I shouldn't really say this because I am on the show, but the fact that they spend their Mondays every week watching this really speaks volumes about their social life.
Hey, man! Don't have a go at the viewers. Don't have a go at the viewers. Div 2 stream when? 2 weeks. So not
Alex Turner just put Q&A when? Q&A now.
Now.
You've got 4 minutes left.
You got 4 minutes. Opinions on Cuda Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth winning the division. That's it. I don't even play uni ball. Just here for the grief. Any plans to live stream the Brames this season? Not in this half of the year. So we can definitely look into it come 2025. But as it sounds right now, no.
You spend your Mondays doing this, brother. Also, no social life. It is 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock at night here. It's stopping me doing my work. Like, come on. I've got nothing better to do with my life.
When's the Mighty Fury being live streamed? They're not. Who would win? FSU or banger. As it stands right now. I don't know. This good old Jed coming in. What a guy.
Who is this Jed? I want to meet Jed.
I think Jed is like the meme name, because I believe that Jed was the guy who joined the Bath group chat from Bristol.
Brilliant.
Who
brilliant. That says it all. That says it all about that division, if they're allowing people to just jump in their group chat and share playbooks.
It's like last week they're like, well, it wasn't unnoticed. Why are we talking about it? Streaming any Midlands games? Potentially, but again, 2025. We've got the rest of our games lined up for 2024. So again, it's anyone asking about streams, it will have to be 2025 when we're back from Christmas.
Banger can't field a team, you massive gimp.
Damn, being roasted.
Tebs, show us your highlights.
I don't have any. Me sitting on the bench. Will you be coming to Southwest One games? No. I'm not. One more minute. 1 more minute. 1 more minute.
Oh, the comments about your feet are coming back as well.
Yeah, awesome. 1 more minute.
1 more minute.
If Coventry win another game, will you do a hot tub stream?
No.
What if they have a winning record?
No.
Boring.
I don't know what to tell you, mate. I'm not interested in really doing it. Are Knots legit? What, gold or green? I think green are pretty. I mean, both teams are pretty legit. If I'm completely honest, that's really funny. What comes to I think both teams are pretty. Both teams are legit. I mean, you can't really deny that. I think Nottingham Green have very much got the Midlands one. Not wrapped up, but they're certainly the favourites to win it. I think that's it. I think I don't want any more because it's all just talking about my
I asked what your jersey collections is. You've got that UWS one on the pack.
Yeah, I've got UWS. I've got Lincoln down there. I've got Glads one in there. I've got a signed Xavier Howard one, and then like Miami.
Here's a good one for you. This one's from Tony. 1 foot inbounds in Uniball. Is it a touchdown or is it not?
It is, isn't it? That's
It
what I
is.
thought anyway.
I thought it was, but apparently not.
Yeah. And I've got loads of old XFL jerseys. I've got 4. Okay, prediction for Glads versus Royals Varsity. I can't really make that prediction because like that game is so far in the future that I wouldn't really be able to say because I don't know if any teams are going to be, getting better skin. Like when it comes down to the records at the end of the season, I'll be able to get a better prediction. But obviously, as it stands right now, Royals won the last game, so it's looking like the Royals, I guess. But again, but varsities are so strange.
There we go. Time's up.
Awesome.
They've really let the side down this week.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, never thought I'd be in this position. Very, very strange. So moving on to this week, we have got some pretty decent games going on this week. Mainly, I think, the first meeting of the Northumbria Mustangs and the UClan Rams in Northumbria. We're doing the one in Preston. So I'll go through them now. So it's Loughborough versus the Gold, Beckett versus Durham, NTU versus Liverpool, SGS versus Birmingham, Heriot Watt versus Napier, Mavericks versus Klansmen, Mustangs Rams, Tyrants Eagles, Notts Green versus Hull Sharks, Coventry versus Leicester, Reading versus Hertfordshire, Oxford versus Brighton, which I will be at, Bristol versus Southampton, Swansea versus Bournemouth, Kent versus UEA, another great one, Essex versus UCL, Sunderland versus York St John, Edgehill versus Keele, DMU versus Derby, Oxford Brooks versus Chichester, Sussex versus Royal Holloway, and QMBL versus Canterbury. So let's just dive right into it. UClan Northumbria. What can we really tell here from these teams? They've both been dominating so far. UClan, they're still a powerhouse. Obviously, they tend to have issues in the second half of the season. I doubt that will be the case this year. But as it stands right now, I think these teams are very, very evenly matched.
I don't think it's going to be massively high scoring, personally. No. I think it's going to be quite cagey. I think both sides know how good the other side is. I don't think that either side is going to necessarily walk it, and I think it's going to be a really good game.
I can't obviously pick it, obviously, but I really can't pull it apart right now. Both teams have been fantastic. I mean, you'd have to sort of give the edge to Northumbria just based on how good they were last year, and UClan couldn't really do much in the playoffs due to sort of being slightly shaky. Over in the Scottish one, I think Heriot Watt and Napier, that could be a decent enough game. But I think Napier's probably going to have the advantage in that one, just because of Heriot Watt falling to Glasgow last week. Then, I mean, in the southeast, Kent versus UEA. We got any thoughts on that one? Obviously, last year anyway, Kent beat UEA at UEA, and UEA beat Kent at Kent. And this time, it's at Kent, I believe.
I think Kent will sweep it.
Do you?
Yeah, I think Kent are a better team, but I don't know. I think the goal for UEA obviously would be to win the division, but I don't know. It's all been thrown out massively because I think before the weekend just gone, we looked at Kent and UEA just being the two that are going to decide it, whereas KCL have jumped into this, and now I've not got a clue of that division. But I think one of those two will miss the playoffs now.
I tell you what, it's going to be very, 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 very damning, whoever that is, because all three of those are good teams. But KCL have definitely not come out of nowhere, but they've put themselves into the divisional winning standings. I guess there's a better way to put it. Not too much in terms of anything in D2 that's particularly riveting, but I'm trying to think what else is there. I mean, those are all the games that I think of. Those three are fairly decent. Oxford, they get a chance to come back against Brighton, but Brighton are obviously going to be looking to surprise some people. And I think Brighton do have the capability to do that, so it'll be an interesting one to live stream, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think UCL and Essex potentially that could decide what happens to Essex.
I think you're right.
If Essex lose that, I think they're gone.
I think
it's early days, but I think they're gone.
I think it's game over for them because I don't think Essex is going to be able to sneak one past UEA, Kent, or KCL as it stands right now. But yeah, I mean, Manchester Derby, I think that's going the way of the times. But again, it's Northumbria versus UCLan is sort of the big one for this weekend. So we're going to get into some picks, if you can believe it. So
hang on a minute. Can I just address Gary just saying that UCL must be relegated after yesterday? It's the accusations that UCL don't have any coaches is completely wrong. And it's not. It's just baseless, basically. Simple as that. Sorry, just wanted to say it because he's just throwing around accusations that aren't true.
There you go. Oh well, we'll see.
Yep.
Well, not we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to make any assertions about anything UCL. I'm just not. So starting off in the National Prem, Loughborough versus Nottingham Gold. I'm going to go with the Gold.
Gold.
Yep, Gold all round, and then Beckett versus Durham.
Durham.
I don't know why I was thinking about that. I got confused what year it was.
NTU versus Liverpool. NTU, obviously.
NTU.
Yeah, got to give that to Nottingham Trent.
NTU
in the Southern Prem, SGS and Birmingham. Got to give that one to SGS.
SGS.
Yes, SGS.
SGS. And then in the Scottish one, Heriot Watt versus Napier. Don't want to do it to you, Dylan, but I'm gonna go with Napier.
Napier.
We're being adventurous this week, lads.
I mean, we are. I mean, Stirling versus Edinburgh. Obviously, Stirling beat Edinburgh. You going Edinburgh?
Stirling.
There we go. I'm gonna go with Edinburgh because I think I've picked them to actually win the whole thing. So, then I mean, Northern one, Mustangs versus Rams. You can think about this one. I am going to go with the Mustangs.
Football's the real winner.
Yeah, it really is.
I had Mustangs to win the division, didn't I?
I think you did, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say Mustangs.
Christ, I really thought you were going to do a Jamie there and just go subvert the.
No, I was tempted, and I wouldn't. By no means would I be surprised, but
I'll go UCLan.
Oh.
Okay, and then MMU versus the Tyrants. Do you know what? MMU.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Christ, lads, come on, let's spice this up. In the Midlands and Yorkshire one, the Green versus the Hull Sharks. It's green, let's be honest.
Green.
The Sharks.
Why did you just put in your predictions down the drain?
Nah, jokes.
Fine. Westminster, I've already written it down. Leicester versus Coventry.
Leicester.
I'd like Coventry to just go on a run where they just win everything now. But
Do you know what?
Coventry for playoffs.
I'm going to pick Coventry.
Oh my god.
This is one of the most, this is going to be that freezing cold take that ends up working.
Yeah.
They got 80 yards.
Yeah, but they won, Jamie, mate. They won.
Yeah, I know, but look at my name on this week's show. They got 80 yards.
Win is a win.
Win is a win. Win is a win, brother. Reading versus Hearts. Hearts. Oxford versus Brighton. I'm still going to back Oxford.
Yeah, Oxford.
Okay.
I feel bad because it always seems like I've never picked Brighton. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting one. Like it's Brighton can move the ball, but I still think Oxford are a decent squad.
We could be on for a 0-0 there, in my opinion.
Bristol versus Southampton. Might as well go with Southampton. They won the last one for me anyway.
Southampton.
Yep. And then Swansea versus Bournemouth.
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 Yeah, not surprised there. Kent versus UEA again.
UEA.
I'm going to go with
split.
UEA. I'm going to go with UEA, I think. Not pretty baseless mind. Essex versus UCL. UCL. Yeah.
Who is the Essex head coach these days? I think they've got another head. I don't know if the old one came back or that was just random thought.
No, I don't know. So in D2, Sunderland versus York St. John. I'm going to go with Sunderland just based on they managed to put points on Sheffield.
Sunderland.
DMU versus Derby.
Derby.
All Derby. Oxford Brooks versus Chichester.
Oxford Brooks.
Yeah.
I'm on the hype train now. After I made the mistake the other week, I'm all
Yeah,
aboard.
I think we all have to be. Sussex versus Royal Holloway. Got to give it a Sussex.
Sussex.
Got to give it to Sussex. And last but by no means least, the QMBL Vipers versus the Canterbury Chargers. I'm going to give that to QMBL.
I'll go Canterbury because I know nothing.
Okay, well, that was very, very boring picks this week, gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. We are live streaming Oxford versus Brighton this Sunday, so tune in for that if you're playing. Good luck, stay healthy, and we'll see you back here next week at between the hours of 7 and 8. We'll see you next week. Bye. All the graphics will go up, rankings will